Indigenous economic reconciliation in Canada. Weekly highlights. Welcome to your weekly update on Indigenous economic reconciliation with Indigenous peoples in Canada. Economic reconciliation continues to transform business, policy, and community relationships nationwide. The focus is clear: inclusive growth, equitable partnerships, and Indigenous self-determination. Key developments this week. The federal government and provinces are upholding major funding commitments, over $0.2 billion annually, for Indigenous economic development, youth programs, and community-led projects. Provincial programs in Alberta and Ontario are supporting Indigenous-led enterprises, offering loan guarantees, and funding major projects in sectors such as clean energy and agriculture. Private sector partnerships are on the rise. Companies like CN are integrating Indigenous suppliers into their supply chains and setting ambitious targets for procurement and workforce inclusion. Indigenous organizations are growing their influence. The First Nations Major Projects Coalition has expanded its membership and project portfolio, demonstrating greater Indigenous equity and ownership in large-scale developments. Education and capacity building. New professional certificate programs like Queen's Law's Reciprocal Economies Certificate are strengthening cross-cultural business capacity, emphasizing the importance of free, prior, and informed consent in all major projects. Challenges. Despite steady progress, barriers remain. Limited access to capital, ongoing infrastructure needs, and the need for transparent, standardized benefit agreements. Indigenous leaders are calling for more direct control over lands and resources, consistent implementation of UNDRIP, and greater support for Indigenous data and digital sovereignty. What's ahead? The federal government's next plan will expand grant programs and increase support for Indigenous businesses. Expect further advances in Indigenous-led development, especially in clean energy, digital transformation, and public sector procurement. Cross-sector collaboration will remain key for closing socio-economic gaps and supporting true reconciliation. Conclusion: Indigenous economic reconciliation in Canada is advancing through sustained partnerships and innovation. While challenges remain, the trajectory is clear: more Indigenous leadership, ownership, and opportunity. Thank you for joining this week's update. For ongoing coverage, stay tuned.